Hello, everybody. We're back with a new episode of Rekindling Love with me, Woifi.
And me, Dani.
I
can actually pronounce my consonants.
We're down under today, and we prepared a shrimp on a barbie. Mate, we're back, everybody, and we're in quarantine.
Woohoo!
We came officially in contact with someone who has COVID.
Yep.
And we had to quarantine.
But can we just explain, because I don't like saying it that way because it sounds like we're not responsible.
Oh, yeah,
we're probably the most responsible people when it comes to COVID.
The thing is, I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to work, so I do have to go out, but we're super responsible. We don't like go hang out with people. We're home all the time.
That's true.
But his mom lives with us too, and she we like have a house together and we share a kitchen. Yeah. And she contracted it at her job. Yeah. Brought it home, and so now we are in quarantine. But we tested negative.
Yesterday,
yeah.
And we have another test on Friday, so when you listen to it, we already had our test. Yeah. And we will probably be negative again, and then we'll be out in quarantine next week by Wednesday. Yeah.
So a week from the time that we're recording this, we will be back to normal. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for you, it's kind of like not that much changes. We can't like go for walks, which sucks because
that's sucky.
Yeah. We try to get our 10,000 steps every day, and that's definitely hard when you can't go for a walk.
We run around the house.
Yeah, we literally walk around the house. Like, I did the math. You have to walk around the house 100 times in a very specific pattern. Yeah, to get 10,000 steps.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
But for me, it's like, because I don't work from home, I'm basically getting paid to like sit on my ass. But I have actually been being productive.
That's true.
I do like spend some time watching Netflix, but I have been learning. I am starting a yoga teacher training.
You
so I'm
should
doing
say
that.
You spend most time watching Netflix.
No, most of my time I'm doing my yoga teacher training. I did that for 4.5 hours yesterday and 3 hours today. I watched 2 episodes of something yesterday and 1 episode of something today.
It's funny how you get defensive.
Yeah, I am defensive because I'm actually doing something productive.
Yeah, and for me, nothing changed.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But other than that, we are fine.
Yeah.
Well, gassy today. Not gonna lie. But it's because of the food and it's a little stress.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's our topic today, Woifi?
Gas in the gut.
That was really loud. You're like shouting. Every time you say gas, you're like screaming it.
Gas in the gut is good for your fun poopy pants. No, our topic today is how to rekindle love, or how to spark the spark again.
Ignite the spark?
To ignite the spark again.
Yeah.
And we're all doing it in an Australian accent.
We're not.
Mate. We're going to talk about love and how to ignite the spark.
Spork?
Spork. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at accent. I wish I would be better. No, but I think that's an interesting episode because everyone has, or almost everyone has been in relationship where they, at some point fallen into the routine of, doing their stuff and maybe living together or seeing each other on a daily basis and just doing the stuff that you always do. Yeah. I'm not saying that routine is something bad. I think routine is also something good. And
routine is good.
It's necessary and also healthy. I mean, most of the time we fall into routine because that's just how life goes.
And it's comfortable.
But with routine, sometimes you can take your partner for granted, or love fades. And
I wouldn't say that love fades. I wouldn't say it like that.
It dies.
No.
It dies a gruesome death.
I wouldn't say it like that. I would say it like the beginning stages of love, and we've talked about this before. The beginning stages are like those butterfly stages. You're super passionate. You're super, it's like you get butterflies in your stomach with that person. You talk with them for hours on the phone, even if it means you lose sleep. I mean, you want to spend all of your time with that person, but it doesn't mean that when that's gone, the love fades, or the longer you've been together. For some people, maybe the love fades, but I don't think...
For me, actually, it does.
That's nice. I don't think in general that's the thing.
No.
I think it's... For me, I have more love for you now than I had when we were in the honeymoon phase or the butterfly phase. I have way more love for you now.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I wanted to say. For some people, or at least from my experience, I think it's more so that it's that love, not... I mean, I want to say fate because that's what it was for me. So I think... I mean, we talked about this relationship is work and love is work. And at some point, once the...
But you were talking about your past relationships. You don't feel like your love for me has faded.
Right. From my past experience, I have been in situations where the relationship, not only because I knew that, you know, it wasn't going anywhere. So I didn't see a future. I didn't see necessarily a point to make it bigger than it actually was for me.
Yeah.
Which sucked for the other partner because the other partner didn't feel like that. But it kind of faded for me. And
yeah, but I think what we're talking about today is not so much about like when you feel like you're at the end of a relationship.
No,
but it's more about when
Danielle, let me finish. Okay. But in this relationship right now, it's different because I think, first of all, because I love you, obviously,
nice.
But also because I think we work well together. We support each other. We push each other. Even though we have routines, obviously, and nowadays even more so because we can't do anything, we still try to have fun together and do sometimes things that we not usually don't do. And also, I don't know, we both equally, I think, work on the relationship together and also on our own. And I think that shows. But yeah, I mean, again, I had my past relationships were not that way. So I had the experience of you are with someone for, I don't know, 2-3 years or maybe a little longer. And then it just, you know, yeah, you still love them, but maybe not in that way anymore. And maybe you wish that, you know, you could go into those like really, you tap into those really like first feelings again, or just, you know, you long for the hot.
But it can also be just to like, you know, you get into a routine with somebody and you might feel the same amount of love for them, but you just want a little spark there. You want a little more like passion or, I don't know, fun together.
Sure.
Because, I mean, it's ridiculous to have the expectation that you're in love all the time because you are, but it's not like you constantly feel that. You know what I mean?
Obviously
it's not like a physical feeling that you constantly like, I'm so in love with this person. I mean, I am in love with you, but I don't like feel it like that every second of every day.
Obviously that's normal, I think.
Yeah, I think it is normal, but I think that some people have that expectation where it's like, and we talked about this too in some earlier episode.
Yeah.
About the whole butterfly feeling.
Yeah.
And how that, I think there are a lot of people who think that like when that feeling goes away, it's like, oh, we only had that feeling for 2 weeks. What's that mean? Or, oh, we only had that feeling for X amount of time. What does that mean? And I think that that's just an unrealistic expectation to feel like it should last a certain amount of time.
I think there are two things to the whole thing of like rekindling love and also being in a long-term relationship with someone and feeling like, okay, the air is kind of out, or you need to ignite it again, the spark. And one thing is, okay, do you see a future with the person? Not necessarily like, yes, I want to have children, I want to blah, blah, you know, but still, do you see yourself being with the person longer, or is that already completely gone because you moved on or you changed so much that, you know, that happens and that's fine, but that's something you should clear first, I think, with yourself and then with your partner.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if it's clear for both of you that, yes, sure, we still want to be together, I think it's important to set some steps or do something about the whole love thing. Because what's the point of being together when it's just like a friendship? It's nice too.
I think everybody needs to feel love, not just like, I think the longer that you're together, and sure, there are different milestones that you reach in a relationship that might like automatically spark that love again. Like when you decide to have children, that's exciting. That ignites a flame. Yeah. And then when you actually give birth to those children, and it's like, that's a whole nother connection that you have with your partner. I just said a whole nother. But I think just like in the not so big milestones of a relationship, it's also important to make sure that you're still surprising your partner, or that you're still making your partner feel loved, and that they're making you feel loved. Yeah. And that goes along with, the love languages, which we've talked about. Yeah. But I think there's also just things that you can practice together or do together that can help you like just rekindle that, where you then feel it a little bit more for a period of time. Right. I mean, if we preach it all the time, communication is a big thing for everything. If you don't talk with your partner, you don't know how they feel, and you don't know where they stand, obviously. And if you don't ask them things, if you don't tell them things, then there is already a big problem, and that can already solve a lot of problems, talking. And that's something we talk about that every day or every time. Another thing is like, I'll just give an example before I really say what it is, but do you have like a smell that when you smell it, it just brings back, like, it's a sensory memory? So you have this smell, and then you smell it, and you're all automatically brought back to this memory or this time or this place or a song. Exactly. You can do that with your partner, where you go revisit places that you have really good memories with them. Sure, if it's like traveling and stuff right now, obviously that's not possible, but you can still go back to like the place that you got engaged, if you were engaged at some point, or the place you got married, or the place where you first met or had your first kiss. It's like you revisit these places, and it brings back the sensory place where you memory for you. Took the biggest dump in your life together. Yeah, next to each other. No, but the thing is, everyone has that. Everyone took the biggest dump of their life. That's what you're talking about. Everyone has that. Yeah, I'm sure everyone has that, where they look back at, like, they took a dump, and then they stand up and look back and think like, wow, this thing did not just came out of my ass. We're talking about things you did as a couple. No, I know, but that, that's with your smell stuff. That can be part of that. I thought we moved on from that, but obviously with COVID and stuff right now, it's not so easy to do those things. Fun thing, actually. But can I just, otherwise I'm going to forget. Yeah. And then you can go to your fun poop thing. No, it's actually not fun poop related. But another way that you could maybe do that is to like look back. You can use Facebook for that. It's a great tool for that. But to go look back on your photos together from like when you first started dating, or, because even that, it brings you back to that place. It brings you back to that time, all of those feelings that you had then. And that's also a fun thing that I think you can do together. I just watched the one video of us being in the US in 2018. That was kind of fun too. Yeah. Just like revisiting the memories, all the things we did, the fun first night we had with what is she to us? Sister-in-law? No, wait. My aunt? Wait, where? Naomi. Naomi, she's my sister-in-law. She's your sister-in-law, yeah. The first night we had with her. And all that stuff. So that's fun. It's fun to, if you have that, if you have like videos or just photos, just do that. It's it's a fun way to. That's nice that you watched that. I didn't know you watched that. Yeah, I just watched it recently. Was that your fun thing that you were going to say? Yeah. Well, that's fun that it's kind of related to what I said. And that's what it's for some people, it's stupid to say, why do you record everything? It's the same thing. Yeah, why did you take pictures of everything when you're somewhere? But the thing is, if I'm at an exciting place where I'm not all the time, and I make a video for myself, even though I put it out there, whatever, and I make a video for myself, and then I look at it like years later, it's such a nice thing, because you instantly get brought back to the feeling of, oh yeah, we did that. Oh man, that was so much fun. Like all those little things that, I don't know, it's kind of nice. And then that can be also a topic for, re-sparking, rekindling. Should we take a quick break? Let's take a quick break.
Let's take That was beautiful. Yeah, but if you have the option of like videos, like festivals or something you visit together, or like traveling and stuff like that, do that. Just look at them together, and maybe you know, can boink on it.
No. I mean, sure, that is one option, but nostalgia in itself is just nice to experience with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then boink.
Right. And if you don't know what we mean by boink,
coitus.
Relations. I
like coitus. That's my favorite word.
I like relations. Relations. Another big thing is tell the other person maybe something you haven't told them before.
Which in some cases is hard because like with us, I don't know how much I have to tell you that I've never told you. There's not many secrets I have. Like I can't think of.
So there's some.
There's one I can think of that it's not a secret, but I haven't. No, I'm not telling you.
Come on,
I'll tell you after.
You need to tell it now.
No,
Nobody's
I'll tell you
listening.
after. I'll tell you after.
Nobody's listening.
It's not. That's bad vibes and bad juju to send out to the universe. And I can tell you later. But other than the one thing that I can think of, which isn't really a secret, it's just something I've never told you, or maybe anybody. Mm-hmm. I feel like you know everything about me, which can't be true, but I feel like that can be kind of a hard one to...
It can be. It depends on the relationship. If you lie to each other all the time, then maybe it's easier to be truthful at some point.
Maybe you shouldn't be together. You're feeling like you have to lie
but
all
I think
the time.
Almost everyone has like this little thing, or if it's just like a little thing that happened in the past that you've
like
never
a childhood
told
memory
someone.
or a fantasy that could even be something you could share with your partner, or like a dream.
Right.
Not all dreams are like super fun to share, but sometimes you have funny dreams or scary dreams, and
And that can, first of all, it can spark up conversations. Mm-hmm. And also it can be fun because you make yourself vulnerable, and you
tell that person that you trust them.
Right. You show them that you trust them. And with that, I think another cool thing is, or another interesting thing is, like, get your hearts racing, in the sense that you get excited about something so much that, you start like... what is it called? And adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that,
like an adrenaline rush. Do something that gets your adrenaline going.
That can be something in the house. There can be something out of the house. Mm-hmm. Maybe something.
And I'm sure that's just like a Google search away. How can I get my adrenaline going in the house? Without leaving the house.
And it can be a simple thing as like telling yourself some secrets, or playing a fun game that makes you do stuff that you usually don't do.
Or like a scary movie, or a thrilling movie.
Or scare each other once in a while.
Yeah, we do that.
Sometimes. I scare her. She doesn't scare me.
No.
Just for...
I'll give you this. You scare me when you're not trying to scare me. Sometimes, because most of the time, we've talked about this too, most of the time he walks around the house like an elephant, where it's so loud. His footsteps are so loud, where it's like, how can that person not, like, how are you walking where you're not hurting your knees? Because that's how it sounds. But then there are sometimes where it's like, he just walks into a room, and usually I hear him coming, so it never startles me, but then it startles me, but you're usually not trying.
It can be a ninja.
However, when I try to scare you, 8 times out of 10, I really do scare you.
5 times out of 10. No.
8.
No.
8 times out of 10.
The thing is, I play it a lot, so you don't feel bad.
Sure.
But yeah, that can be also a thing.
It's fun. And you can't do it all the time. You have to find a good balance. So it can't be like once a day you scare each other, because then it becomes like you get used to it, or you expect it.
Yeah, right.
But if you do something like, I don't know, just don't plan it. Just think like, oh, I kind of want to try to scare this person now. That's just a fun little thing. Another thing is, we talk about this too before in the podcast, but like showing appreciation for your partner, even just a thank you goes such a long way in making your partner feel seen and acknowledged, and you know that the things that they do are important to you.
I think I mean that's with routine and stuff. You know, you have your things that you do in your apartment or in your house or whatever. And the other person has their things they do, and maybe they cook more or maybe they clean more, and vice versa, you know, stuff like that. But I think a thank you, first of all, it doesn't cost anything. A thank you is a nice gesture to show someone you appreciate what they do. Mm-hmm. But second, I think especially in the small things, you get so like used to doing those things, and you do them obviously because it's, you know, your chores. It
needs to be done.
It needs to be done, yeah. And yeah, you don't need to thank the person all the time, but I think it's a nice gesture. And yeah, even though the person says, because you say that a lot, you don't have to thank me for that. Mm-hmm. I still liked you.
I mean, it does feel good when you thank me for it. Right. And it does feel good. And I think it's good to show appreciation to your partner, even if it's things that you should be doing anyways.
You can also ask for the thank you. In a very passive way.
Yeah, sometimes Woifi, not as much anymore, but you used to like take out the garbage or something and be like, "You're welcome." I'd be like, "For what? For taking out the garbage?" Uh-huh.
I do it with the bakery stuff. You're welcome for the bakery.
You still do that. It's crazy.
By the way, I miss the bakery.
Oh, me too. It's been like all of
2 days.
2 days that we haven't been able to go to the bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, and we probably will do a whole episode on this thing, but
a whole nother episode.
But resentment is something that you should just get rid of. We will do it.
I mean, talk about it. Sure, if you really feel like it's obviously. I think there's a line though. I think there are some things that we get resentful of that if we really think about them on our own, we realize that's not worth feeling so resentful for.
Yeah.
There are, however, other things that maybe do deserve a conversation where you talk about it. It doesn't mean that you put blame on the other person, but you can express that you're feeling resentment for whatever you're feeling resentment for, and talk about it and see if you can find a common ground or a solution.
Yeah, and there are multiple ways to get rid of that. Like, we will probably do an episode on that because it's an interesting thing. But yeah, resentment is poison.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in long-term relationships, you know, you have those little quirks or pet peeves that you really don't like, and the other person does it sometimes. Or, you know, I also
would you classify that as resentment though? It's not really resentment.
No, it can turn into resentment, and I think that's a big, at least in my cases, like in my relationships, there have been points where something I liked at first turned into something I hated,
I know that too.
And then it turned into resentment. Where it's completely stupid and it's completely like small, but I mean, there are other factors involved in the whole thing as well, sure, but that those things can turn into resentment, and that's just not good.
And just like a quick, like you said, we'll probably do like an episode about that, but just a quick little like idea of how you can let go of some of those things. I am all for super symbolic ways of letting go, where you actually see something physically disappear in front of you. But there's a really cool exercise. It's just like wish paper. But you sit down together and you write on pieces of paper only for yourself. You don't share them with your partner, but you sit together and you write on pieces of paper things that you resent or things that you're feeling resentful for.
Their face, their teeth, their flabs.
It's not about things you don't like about the person. It's things smell. That I think you need to make a distinction between things you don't like and resentment.
Their anus mouth.
Yes. Anyways, you take those things and then you don't share them with your partner, and you just put them in safely. Do this in a safe place, either outside or in a designated area. You put them in a bowl, you put them in like a pit or something outside, you dig a little hole or whatever you want to do, and set them on fire.
Right.
And you literally watch them burn in front of your eyes and disappear, and it symbolizes just letting go.
Yep.
And I mean, it's obviously best to have the intention that as you watch them burn, you're actually also letting them go.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really nice way to let go of things that no longer serve you.
Right. I mean, let's move on to the spicy things.
Spicy.
sex. No, but I mean, sex is a big thing, and there are two options. Either,
I mean, there's probably more than two options, but we have two options.
We have two options here, and I mean, sure, there are more, but one big option is stop it.
For a while.
For a while, like basically try to rebuild the sexual tension.
But like still allow yourself to do things like kiss, hold hands, maybe like second base.
Right.
But no further.
Right.
Granted, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to be upfront. That's not up my alley. I think I would just get sexually frustrated and probably really like mean towards you.
Right. You have to talk about that. But that can be something that can be healing and it can be exciting too. The other thing is like crank it up.
Yeah.
Basically, you have sex almost every day or every day.
I mean, there's this thing, it's literally a 30-day sex challenge where you commit to having sex every day for 30 days. And even if you're not like super into it.
But how does it work with period? Then you have to have sex while period stuff is going on.
I mean, you can take out the week of the period. You can do it the whole, But sex doesn't have to be like intercourse either. You can get creative with it. You can do other things together.
It's true.
But to do it for 30 days, and it's supposed to, like, over time, you start to get really excited about it. Like, you really look forward to it during the day where you're like, ooh, we get to have sex tonight, even though you may have already had sex every night for the last 10 days.
Yeah. No, that's true. Mm-hmm. And there you can also get creative. Like, maybe don't do it in the bed all the time. Mm-hmm. Do it on the floor or in the garbage.
Or, like, trying it. No, maybe not in the garbage.
Why not? Or like in the dirt outside.
You would do it in the garbage or in the dirt.
No. But maybe people are out there who want to do it. Or maybe pour sand into your bed and do it on the sand.
Oh, don't do that.
Get creative, people.
But like new positions and stuff you can try. That's always fun. Just get like a book with pictures, like a Kama Sutra. Pick a random page and try it. And sometimes it's really awesome. And sometimes you just end up laughing your asses off together because you're like, how does this work? How do you do that? And how do I do this?
Yeah, and be careful. You can hurt yourself.
You don't hurt yourself. Be careful.
But yeah, that's the thing. Or we talked about this too, like plan secret dates or dates together where, I mean, nowadays it's a little different, but you can still do that at home where the one person says, okay, I'm setting up a night for us today. And I don't know, I cook something for you and then we do that. And then the other night is the other person's turn and they prepare something. I mean, we talked about this too. I think a healthy and a happy relationship can only be possible, or is only possible if you're happy with yourself and if you're, I don't know, in line with yourself. And if you feel like, okay, there's stuff going on that you have to personally deal with. Yeah. I mean, it's not to say that your partner can help you with that, but if there's something happened in your private life or with family or whatever it is, or in work, then just take time for yourself and work through that. Maybe talk to a friend to get like a different perspective on it. But try to, be happy with yourself.
Yeah. But it's also important, I think, especially if you live together, to take time for yourself and do things. So in the beginning, it was really hard for me. I remember when I first moved here, it was hard for me, even if you just wanted to watch a movie by yourself one night. True. But we've also talked about that in past episodes about like why that was so hard. But
because she was scared in the dark.
Because I was lonely. I was so lonely.
Girl sits alone at home. She's scared of the wind.
You're gonna get scared tonight. No, but I was really lonely when I moved here, and that was really hard for me to also then be alone, even if it was just for one night. I know it's silly, but it's just how it was.
Yeah.
But it's important, and we do this now, I think, not super frequently, but I think we do it a fair amount, where either you say or I say, hey, I kind of want to watch this movie. I kind of feel like you probably won't want to watch it, but I'd kind of like to watch it for myself. Yeah. Or I think I'll just take a night for myself. Or sometimes you say, I think I just want to play tonight. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And it's good to allow each other to have space for ourselves, even if you had space during the day. But that doesn't always mean that you had space. I mean, like in your case, you're working during the day, so I don't really count that as time for you because that's your work time.
Right.
Just as when I'm at work, that's not really time for me.
Right.
But it's okay to be home together and not be doing something together. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay, people.
It's okay. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Do things that feed your soul.
Right. And in the end, you will feel love again. No.
Yeah.
I mean, those are little things. You can just Google it. Just listen to other podcasts with similar topics. And I don't know. It's also, again, it's totally normal to have a dip, to just not feel as much in love anymore as you used to. But that's something you can work on, and that's something you can bring back. And if you're both dedicated to that, it's also not that hard.
It's also not necessarily about bringing back. In some cases, I think it is. It's there. It's more about just giving it access again, because it's. I mean, especially with us, it's there. I think it's always there. But sometimes you need a little extra boost to make it heard or make it visible.
That reminds me of farting.
Why does that remind you of farting?
You give it a little boost to make it noticeable or heard. Where you press and it's really noticeable.
Or in your case, you make a whole dramatic scene of it. Or when you fart, you just you're like, wait, what is that? What's that sound? And then everyone pays attention, and then you lift your leg and fart, where it's like this whole dramatic scene play.
Danielle, that's something I rehearsed my whole life. And yes, I'm playing it out. Yeah. That's it.
That's it. And I know it's hard right now. Everyone's feeling it, I think. But if you're in a relationship and you're stuck at home, I feel you. But also, doing these kinds of things will probably also help you prevent little fights,
Right.
Because when you're stuck together a lot, you tend to fight more.
Right.
But I will say, so far in this quarantine, which is only a couple days long, but we've really kind of been quarantined since Saturday. Yep. We haven't fought yet, so that's something.
I have a feeling we fight tonight.
Okay.
Because you're fucking...
Wow. Now you're getting double scared. But it's totally normal to feel kind of a little out of sorts right now with each other. Yeah. So if you do little things like this, like looking at old pictures or, talking about things that you did together or how you met, just do little stuff together right now and kind of rekindle that nostalgia and that flame.
Yes. And while you're at it, please rate and share the podcast. And just give us some love. And if you have any questions or feedback or want to talk, just hit us up on our either Instagram or website.
Yeah.
Other than that, we hear each other next week. Goodbye. Goodbye, mate. Mate. See you, mate.